This isn't random scrolling. You arrived here because a shift is calling you. That unexplainable feeling that something significant is aligning, even if its shape is still hidden. Behind the scenes of your everyday life, the universe is already moving the pieces into place. You might not have said it aloud, but you felt it. The quiet pull in your core, the whisper in a silent room, the undeniable sense you're approaching a pivotal turn. Lately, your eyes keep catching repeating digits. On your phone, receipts, or random screens. It's as if reality is gently tapping you on the shoulder. You may have dismissed it as coincidence, but the timing persists, especially as December draws near. And maybe you've doubted yourself, thinking you're overthinking, seeing patterns where none exist. Yet the instant you opened this video, something settled within. That doubt began to crack because, deep down, you already knew. You haven't been noticing these numbers by chance. You've been awaiting confirmation. The restlessness, the soul-deep pressure, the growing hunger for change, they all point towards something real. This isn't confusion, it's preparation. The pause you're in, where everything feels slow yet your mind races, isn't a sign of being stuck. It's because the next version of you is gathering strength beneath the surface. You're standing in a sacred in-between space, where the old you gently releases and the future you steps forward. It's during this phase that numerical signs speak the loudest, guiding you without words. Hasn't this phase felt dense lately? Like moving through a mist, direction unclear, yet knowing something monumental lies ahead. The peculiar tension in your chest isn't failure or fear, it's activation. It's energy coiling before the release. It's life-changing gears, while the outer world stays quiet. When repeated numbers begin shadowing your days, it's often because momentum has already begun. The cosmos uses numerals as a final signal before breakthroughs emerge, especially those tied to prosperity, timing, and awakened awareness. And there is one unmistakable pattern that surfaces right before destiny pivots. Once you recognize what you're being shown, every feeling you've had, every question you've held, and every number you've seen will suddenly click into place. Let's begin. We start with the number 5. Doubt doesn't appear because you're falling behind. It arises because you're finally close enough for it to matter. If you're here now, you know this weight intimately. Those late nights when the clock reads 5:55 and the question drifts in, will anything ever change for me? It's in those moments when everything seems suspended. After all your effort, waiting and pushing, nothing appears to move. Even small details echo back. Receipt totals ending in 5, notifications at 5-minute marks. The same digit surfaces when doubt is loudest. It feels like carrying an unseen burden, a weight only a receptive few truly sense. Most believe doubt means they're losing their way, that the universe has forgotten them. But that's the great misunderstanding. Doubt only visits those who still care enough to question. If you were finished, you wouldn't feel this ache. The way 5 appears during these questioning moments isn't random. It mirrors the energy of change stirring within you. Your wrestling thoughts prove something powerful. You're still in alignment. You're still reaching. You're still fighting for the version of you that your current life hasn't yet reflected. Doubt always enters when a dream becomes real enough to threaten your comfort zone. You're not questioning because you're collapsing. You're questioning because you're standing at the doorway of something meaningful, something far bigger than your past can mirror. That rising tension isn't failure, it's the gathering before a crossing. And strangely, it's in these exact moments, when 5 keeps showing up, that those who are aware feel the shift. Drawing nearest, but there's a deeper layer most miss. The heaviness you've carried isn't fading belief. It's the cost of the immense energy you've poured into surviving, growing and holding on, often without realizing just how much strength it has required of you. Next, the wisdom of 8. The universe has never been silent with you, not for a single moment. It has been placing confirmations directly in your path again and again. Yet when you're standing right before everything shifts, exhaustion can blur the brightest signals. You've carried far more than you realize, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That weight has settled on your shoulders, day after quiet day. It shows in almost invisible ways. Glancing at your phone to see the time frozen at 8:08, receipts ending in 8, page numbers stopping at 8, that same digit flashing when you feel most drained. It's not that you stop believing, you've simply been depleted, tired from holding the vision together, tired from waiting for life to catch up, tired from acting strong while everything stayed strangely still. And when your energy dips that low, the signs meant for you can feel distant. You start calling meaningful moments coincidence. You overlook the people who appear with the exact words your heart needed. You miss opportunities that brushed past, not because they weren't real, but because fatigue dulled your sight to doors slowly cracking open. Even the repeated appearance of 8 slipped by, showing up on heavy days when your mind was too occupied with survival to recognize the messages forming around you. Yet, even on days you didn't fully trust yourself, something kept nudging you forward. That wasn't just luck or stubbornness. That was alignment pulling you through. Unexpected thoughts, quiet reminders, sudden encouragement from a stranger. These moments didn't arrive by accident. They often appeared alongside that recurring 8, weaving through your routine as gentle reassurance. You brushed them off because you were too worn to see them as guidance. None of those moments were random. Every appearance of 8 was a carefully placed signal meant specifically for you. A quiet confirmation that your path hadn't faded just because your energy had dimmed. You were never blind to the signs. You were simply burnt out. The number 17. Progress doesn't vanish just because you can't see it happening. Right now, something powerful is forming in your life. Something you haven't been able to name. You felt the pressing from underneath. That pressure in your chest, that strange tension like something wants to break open, even though everything looks still. That isn't your imagination, it's the exact sensation every aware soul feels right before their reality transforms. And if you've noticed 17 repeating around you, on timestamps, totals, or notifications arriving at 17 minutes past, it's because this transformation has already begun laying its foundation. Your breakthrough has been building beneath all the waiting. Behind every moment of confusion, under every day you assumed was wasted, you kept showing up even when your energy was low. You made choices that stretched you, challenged you, and reshaped you, even without immediate results. This kind of perseverance is never ignored. The universe doesn't dismiss consistency just because the outcome hasn't reached your hands yet. Every boundary you set, every cycle you broke, every time you refused to collapse has been constructing something behind the scenes. The subtle appearance of 17 during these moments is no coincidence. It mirrors a breakthrough, maturing quietly, just out of sight. Breakthroughs aren't gentle introductions. They don't send clear warnings. They grow in silence, gaining strength in the dark, while you're busy convincing yourself nothing is happening. And then, suddenly, everything you've been preparing for arrives at once, as if it had been waiting for the exact moment you'd be ready to receive it. Nothing in your life has been frozen. It's been aligning. Nothing has been stalled. It has been maturing. That recent heaviness isn't a setback. It's the final stretch before your inner transformation demands to appear in your outer world. Because when 17 keeps crossing your path, it's not signaling the shift is coming. It's telling you the shift is already here. Now, the number 4, you are going to make it. You always were. You simply mistook delays for rejection. That quiet fear you've carried, wondering if doors would open, if timing would ever line up, if your effort would truly return what you poured into it, was born from silence, not failure. If you've noticed 4 appearing lately, clocks showing 4:44, page numbers stopping at 4, small moments where the digit catches your eye, it's because this phase of waiting was never a denial, because life moved slowly, because signs weren't loud, because results weren't instant. You assumed something was wrong. But you never heard a true no. You were simply living through a season where answers weren't spoken yet. You misunderstood the pace of your journey as a verdict that was never given. Your outcome was never in doubt. Only your belief wavered during chapters that didn't come with reassurance attached. 4 is the number of foundations. And its quiet repetition mirrors what's been happening in your life all along. Alignment steadily catching up to decisions you made long ago. This was never about if you would arrive. It was about timing syncing with the inner work you've already completed. You reached this moment because you didn't quit, even when confusion blurred everything, even when setbacks felt personal, even when doubt pressed heavy on your chest, even when life seemed to push from all directions at once. What you're stepping into now isn't coincidence, it's consequence. The consequence of someone who refused to break when pressure peaked. Your destination became inevitable the day you kept moving forward while you had every reason to stop. That private choice, the unnoticed decision to continue, locked your path into place. And from that moment, the universe began adjusting in your favor. As 4 continues to surface around you, it quietly confirms that stability is forming beneath your feet. You don't need to manifest from scratch anymore. You're already standing inside the energy of your breakthrough. You're in the final stretch, the deep breath before transformation, the still air before the storm opens wide, the last quiet second signaled by 4 before everything begins accelerating at once. Number 13. Real progress rarely looks poetic while you're living it. One big reason you've doubted yourself is that you expected growth to look organized, steady, and inspiring, like the polished stories shared online. But when you're approaching a massive shift, growth doesn't move in straight lines. It moves like a storm. Lately you may have noticed 13 appearing, timestamps at 13 minutes past, receipts ending in 13, the number catching your eye when life feels most chaotic. That isn't coincidence. 13 carries the energy of rebirth through disruption, the exact pattern you've been living. Growth has been messy, unpredictable, pushing you forward one day, pulling you sideways the next. Breakthrough followed by silence. Clarity followed by confusion. Hope followed by heaviness. Because this didn't match the neat version of progress you expected, you began mistaking transformation for failure. But look back. Did any true turning point in your life arrive without detours, delays, or emotional turbulence? The chaos never meant you were lost. It meant you were being reshaped into someone strong enough to receive what you've been asking for. Each time 13 surfaced during these unstable moments, it quietly confirmed something old was breaking down to build something new. Growth doesn't move neatly. It moves honestly. Some days you feel unstoppable at sunrise and uncertain by sunset. That doesn't mean progress stopped. It means it's changing form. You're not falling behind. You're navigating the turbulence that comes with becoming aligned with your future self. The stagnation you felt wasn't a dead end. It was recalibration. The setbacks weren't punishment. They were redirection. The confusion wasn't collapse. It was proof your old identity no longer fits the future forming around you. Real growth always carries disorder before clarity, and the closer the breakthrough, the louder the chaos becomes. Which brings us to the moment that changed everything. When the universe noticed something in you that even you overlooked. Number 11. You had every reason to give up, and the cosmos was watching the day you almost did. Maybe you remember it clearly, or maybe it's a blur. But there was a moment you stood inches from walking away from everything you were building. It might have been late at night when the clock read 11:11, or when 11 kept appearing on receipts while your heart felt heavy. You were tired of waiting, tired of hurting, tired of carrying everything in silence. Without any visible proof things would shift. You wondered if your effort meant anything at all. You stood on the edge of surrender, but you didn't walk away. And that single decision changed everything. The universe doesn't measure you by the days you felt powerful. It measures you by the days you felt broken and kept moving anyway. When 11 showed up during those fragile moments, it wasn't coincidence, it was alignment, a sign your soul was standing at a quiet gateway of transformation. Those unseen battles are what alter timelines, not celebrations or easy wins, but the silent wars you fought alone. You didn't rise because life softened, you rose because something inside you refused to disappear. Those nights you quietly cried, The mornings you dragged yourself forward with an exhausted heart. They weren't weakness, they were initiations. Each time you endured circumstances designed to break you, you activated strength reserved for the aware. Your resilience was never ignored, it counted. And it rerouted your destiny, because someone who refuses to quit when exhausted becomes impossible to overlook when their moment finally arrives. And that moment, your visible breakthrough, is now closer than you think. Everything you survived is about to return to you in a form you'll finally recognize. Number 2. People think you're stuck, but they're only seeing the pause, not the purpose behind it. Lately, you may have sensed quiet judgments. Some believe you've lost direction. Some assume you're slowing down. Others think you're no longer the same person. And strangely, during this period, 2 keeps appearing. Phone clocks showing 2:22. Message counts, page numbers, small daily moments where the digit seems to pause your attention. 2 is the symbol of duality, the space between what was and what's becoming, perfectly mirroring your phase now. They're viewing your life from the outside, seeing only the stillness without understanding the transformation the stillness is protecting. This season was never meant to be publicly interpreted. It's private terrain, inner construction work that isn't designed to impress yet. People can't understand a transformation they aren't allowed to witness. Each time 2 crosses your path, it quietly reminds you you're living between worlds. No longer who you were, not yet who you're about to become. Your silence isn't regression, it's sanctuary. Think of a cocoon. From the outside it looks inactive, fragile, but inside an entire identity is being rebuilt cell by cell. Or picture an arrow. Before it shoots forward, it's pulled backward, a tension that looks like regression. Yet that pull is what gives it the force to travel farther. This is the energy behind 2, the tension between stillness and movement, shaping your future momentum. Your life isn't pulling you away from your destiny, it's pulling you into the power required to step into it. You're not behind. You're being prepared for a chapter that won't need defending. And when this next version of your life rises into view, it will speak loudly on its own. Then the ones who doubted your silence will realize they weren't watching you fall apart. They were watching you calibrate. Number 21. You've been feeling it, haven't you? The pressure, the repeating cycle, the sense that life keeps pulling you back to the same triggers, the same disappointments, like you're trapped in a loop. And lately, 21 has been showing up. Clocks stopping at 21 minutes past, receipts ending in 21, the number catching your eye when the weight feels strongest. You may have asked, why does this keep happening to me? Here's the truth only the aware realize: your cycle isn't repeating, it's tightening because it's on the very edge of breaking. 21 carries the energy of completion, the countdown before an old chapter finally closes. The patterns never return to punish you. They return to reveal the version of you that you've already outgrown. Not because you're cursed or stuck, but because the moment right before a cycle ends is always when pressure peaks. When a phase finishes, life sharpens the last lessons, not to harm you, but to show you what cannot come forward with you anymore. The more you notice 21, the more it confirms that awareness is ending what exhaustion never could. You're not being attacked, you're being awakened. This pressure is asking you to stop making space for what drains you, to stop shrinking into old chapters, and finally choose growth over fear. You're not stuck, you're transitioning. The loop you felt closing around you is actually collapsing behind you. You're thinking differently, responding differently, seeing differently, and that's the clearest sign before reality shifts. The pattern isn't ending because it's done with you. It's ending because you've outlived it. And when 21 keeps appearing, the universe confirms one truth. The loop isn't breaking you, you're breaking out of it. Finally, the power of 7. You don't know why you clicked, but something inside you knew this wasn't just another video. The moment your finger hovered, your energy responded before your mind caught up. It wasn't curiosity, it wasn't coincidence, it was instinct. That quiet inner sense you've been learning to trust, the part of you that always knows when a shift is near. And just like the number 7 keeps appearing on clocks, receipts, or notifications, it's a subtle signal from the cosmos confirming you're in alignment with what's coming. 7 has always carried the energy of awakening, insight, and divine timing, the same energy pulling you here now. You weren't here by accident. Something in your spirit recognized a message meant specifically for where you stand at this moment. You felt that quiet tension. Not chaos, not fear, but the pressure in the air right before a storm breaks open. That's why this didn't feel like just another video. It felt like a signal, a reminder your soul needed. Even on days you felt defeated, even when doubt whispered you were imagining it. That persistent nudge, like the recurring 7, refused to let the light go out completely. Something within you always knew this wasn't the end. The heaviness, the waiting, the stillness. It was a clearing, a transition, a reset preparing you for what's next. Deep down, you already sensed the change approaching. This message doesn't introduce a new idea. It reflects the truth you've been carrying beneath exhaustion and doubt. You're ready for the next chapter, even if you haven't voiced it yet. And if you're still here noticing this moment, that alone is a sign, a subtle confirmation, like the repeated appearance of 7, that your next phase is already in motion. Your alignment is real, your timing is now, the shift is not coming, it has quietly already begun. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to subscribe to Mystic Philosophy and join the journey so you never miss the signals guiding you toward your breakthrough. Please like this video, it truly supports this channel. Share your experience in the comments and connect with others stepping into their next chapter. Your transformation is waiting, and it's time to step fully into it.